you don't have any excuses. Whatever you might say that, oh, my race is this, that's why I cannot study. Oh, my caste is this, my color is this, my height is this, that's why I cannot cold approach girls. Or, oh, I don't have money, or I don't earn anything, I don't have friends, whatever. These are not excuses. Today, we will discuss this concept. About me, I'm Prateek, and I got a 97% in my 10th board exams without any coaching, tuition, or reference books. And I will make you from an average student to the top of your entire grade. Right? So let's start the video. So first of all, what are the general excuses? So generally, people just blurt out the excuses that they think can save them from the hard work or from doing something that is really helpful for their lives. Let's say studying. Many people say that, oh, I'm just not good at this. I'm just not good at maths. That's why I get bad marks. Or let's say cold approaching. I don't have good height. Let's say someone is 5'5" or 5'4". So I don't have good height. That's why I cannot cold approach girls. Going to gym. I don't have much money. That's why I cannot go to the gym. Or any other excuse, right? These are the most general ones that I hear. But the thing is that no excuse is actually valid. Whatever you might be saying, there is a person in your country just like you, like in your even in your own neighborhood or in your locality, just like you, who has achieved that thing. Let's say you say that, oh, I'm short, that's why I cannot cold approach girls. But there are literally hundreds of guys that are short but have really cute girlfriends. Now, many people say that, oh, I don't have money, that's why I cannot go to gym, right? But of course, again, there are like certain things that you can do to avoid that. For example, you can use your fucking books as weights. So there is a solution to literally everything or every excuse that you might be giving, unless, like, there are cases that we'll discuss later. First of all, let's discuss this specifically for studying. The most common excuse that I hear is, I am just not good at studying. I am an arts person, I am a sports person. But of course, first of all, I have made a video about that and you can watch it because that video is really helpful and one of my best videos. But again, I want to emphasize the point that even if you are an art person, even if you are a sports person or whatever, still, it doesn't hurt to be good at studying. Tell me, if you are just going to the gym, does it mean that you'll only do that for your whole life? You'll expand your skills in certain other areas, right? And that's what we want for studying. Like, you should expand your skills and your knowledge to other areas of your life, be it studying, cold approaching girls, going to the gym, or whatever, right? That's what my point is. So even if you are an arts person or a sports person, while first of all I don't believe anyone is, it's just that you really like to play sports or like to draw, that's why you say that. But whatever, even if you are, then still you can expand your skills to other concepts of your life, right? Now, one more excuse is that generally I don't have much money, that's why I cannot study. But one thing is that you literally do not need money to study. There are literally people who were even more broke than you. They did not have any money, they were in debt, and they still became millionaires. They still cracked their hardest exams in their school or their country or something, right? So there are exceptions to everything. So why cannot you be the exception? Let's say you say that, oh, I have to work jobs so that I can provide for my family, that's why I cannot study. Let's say you have to work part-time or something. Again, you can work at night. Why do you have to sleep for 8 hours every day? You can sleep for 5 hours and still exist. You know, the point is that solutions exist for every problem, but people just do not want to accept those solutions. For example, I'm short, like my height is short, that's why I cannot cold approach girls. Then build your body, build your confidence, be more rich. So do the things that first you cannot avoid. Like, just keep those things aside that you cannot change at all, right? Now, beside that thing, do every other thing in your life and improve your life as a whole, so that you do not even need the thing that you cannot change. For example, a person with good height, let's say he's 6'5" or some shit, but he's broke, he doesn't have any kind of money or something, he doesn't have a good physique, he looks kind of stupid. First is this person. Second is a very short person, let's say 5'5", but he's rich, good looking, charming, and like has social confidence, is actually rich, which one would a girl prefer? Of course, the second dude. Like, no one actually cares if you have a lot of things, if you are short, if you are dark, if you are light, if you're white, if you're black, whatever. No one cares about that. So stop thinking that you are like you have a particular excuse, right? This like the solutions can be given to every problem that there is, except a few which we'll discuss later. So, for example, in studying, I hear one more thing commonly, which is that I would have understood this concept, but I just don't like the book, or I don't like reading. But again, that's like one of the stupidest things, that if you like actually enjoy reading, or if you have even average marks, you must have heard of, right? Like, if you do not like reading, then still you have to read it, because reading is not something that you can just avoid in real life. Tell me, when you're messaging your friends or something on Instagram, Discord, or whatever, at that time, do you hate reading? Or let's say you are reading some weird ass book that you actually like be it from a game like Five Nights at Freddy or whatever. Do you actually hate reading at that point? Of course not. You like reading, right? So it's not that you hate reading, but rather you do not want to read the stuff which is actually related to studying. So my point is, just do it. Just read and read and read till you start liking it. Of course, I'm not saying to completely throw off your interest and whatever, but you gotta be average or even above average in every aspect of your life. Would you want to be a one trick pony? Of course not, right? So that's what the point is, right? So if you do not like studying, just make yourself do it. Like, even for getting good marks, you do not have to like studying. For example, I got 95% in my SST exam, like social science exam, but I hate geography actually. I don't like geography at all. But still I got this much. So the point is that you do not need to like the subject, but rather you just need to know enough that you can answer the questions. That's the point, right? Similarly, for let's say cold approaching girls, even if you do not like cold approaching girls, you have to do it as much as you can, so that you at least have that skill, so that you can at least do it when you want to, right? Let's say for going to the gym, even if you currently do not want to have a good body, you at the end, if you have an option, at least you will have basic knowledge about it. So just go for 1 month and then just leave it, so that you'll at least know what's in there. Similarly, for studying, just do it for a small amount of time till you actually understand the concept and are confident enough that you can answer 2 or 3 questions at least. Then just leave it, because then at least you will have above average grades. That's the point. Now, for some exceptions, like some cases where excuses might be valid. First, you have a mental handicap. Again, that can be considered as like there are a lot of guys or girls or whatever who are actually like with a mental handicap or being autistic, retarded, whatever, like a scientific medical thing you have. But still, many people are there who have that kind of things, but still they achieve so much in life. But that's a thing like you literally cannot control, right? So that's the first point. Even if you want to study, your brain is not good enough for studying. This is why this is a valid excuse. Second, you have a serious disease. Like, I'm not talking about a fever or a cold or some shit, but rather a serious disease, like let's say schizophrenia, Alzheimer's, and things like that. Like these diseases are again mentally based, but still there may be some physical diseases too. For example, like God forbid that you have it, but still, let's say cancer, right? That's a very very serious disease. So things like that, which literally forbids you from working very hard. Like, you have to go to the hospital. If you sit upright for let's say half an hour, you'll have pain in your whole body. Things like that, right? So second is if you have a serious disease. Third, if like this is a weird thing, but if your country literally doesn't allow studying. Like, my point is that let's say you are in a country where a civil war or some shit is going on, and you repeatedly have to move houses or whatever. Of course you cannot study at that point. Like, no one is saying that, oh no, you have to study, why are you not studying? Of course, because first is survival, right? So that's a valid excuse too. Now, one thing might be that your country legally bans you from studying, like not specifically you, but people like you. Like, let's say you are a girl, so your country literally bans females from studying, or your country literally says that, like, no, let's say black people or white people can't study, or things like that. Alright? Now, besides these things, there are, I don't think, any real excuses that you can give to I cannot study. Of course, there might be some things that are remaining, like I could not think of them, but still they generally come into these three categories. First, a illness or a problem in your mind, like the first 2 points condensed into one. Second, your country literally not allowing you to study, or a problem in literally your country allowing you or not allowing you to study. Third, your situation being so bad that you cannot study, like I said, a civil war is going on or something, right? Besides these three things, I don't think there is any real excuse left for you to not study. Now again, as I'm saying that you have to study, that doesn't mean that you only have to study. But my point is that, like, if you are doing something that is for your success, then that will count as work for me. Even if my work is currently studying and this channel is based for studying, but still, let's say you are creating a business. So this philosophy works with business too. That if you have a business, then you cannot give any excuses that, oh, I'm short, that's why I cannot make money. Like, that does not even make any sense. Or, oh, I don't have a good face, I don't have a good voice, that's why I cannot earn any money. Like, my point is, if you want to be successful, then there are no excuses that you can keep for yourself, because excuses are generally for the people who do not want to do the stuff, and even if they know the solution, they still would much rather prefer to not do the stuff rather than to apply the solutions, right? That's why I'm saying that even if your situation is very very bad, just think about what is there in your life. This is a deep concept which is called giving gratitude, or some people journal it, so gratitude journaling. It's basically that instead of focusing on what you don't have, think about what you have and how can you use it. Let's say you are a person who does not have internet, who does not have like a good house or whatever, because you have to work, alright? But you are a teenager and you have to study. Now, you can give the excuses that, oh, I don't have internet, I don't have a good house situation, a family situation. But still, first of all, there are a lot of people who have actually overcame that situation and became much more successful than like they currently were at that stage, when like at which stage you are, right? Second, just think about what you have. Even if you don't have internet, you still have your books, right? Even if you don't have any teachers or schools, you still have normal people that you can talk to. Even if your family situation is not so good, you can study at your workplace, like, of course, if you actually can. Or let's say even if you cannot, you can still just study at night, even if you have to sleep for 5 hours. So basically, for a person who wants to achieve something, there is no excuse, and for a person who does not want to achieve anything, there are literally millions of excuses. Just think about it. There might be a rich person who is living in a first world country, everything is good, his parents are rich, so of course he will be rich too, right? And he has everything, like whatever he says, his parents give him. Again, he also has a lot of excuses that, oh, my parents are not with me, that's why I cannot study. Or, oh, I am too distracted by phone and everything, that's why I cannot study. I have a lot of money to spend, that's why I cannot focus on studying. And again, think about it, there is someone who has abusive parents living in a third world country, he is very poor. That person also has excuses that my parents are abusive, of course, I cannot afford anything, I do not know what to study. Again, just see the difference. No matter who you are, you will have excuses. Now it depends if you actually care about using those excuses to just like live a life of laziness and everything, or do you just want to go on and do something with your life, even if you have to think of solutions and do brute force, like apply brute force method to win in your life? That's the solution, or that's the method, up to you. Like, no one can say that, oh, you have to do this or you have to do that, right? It's up to you to decide. I will do this, even if I do not want to, I do not have full means to do it, I will still do it. That's what I want for you. Now, if you want more content from me and you want more personalized help from me, like what my memorization technique was, or how do you actually study, how to create timetable, how do you create a timetable for your exams, if you want things like that, then I highly recommend you to join my program. It's one of the best courses like I have found on like studying and how to actually be educated. It's not related to only studying for exams, while it is heavily concentrated on that. It's also based on how do you generalize studying, like how do you generally study for whatever, be it for your information on on gym information like nutrients and everything, or be it on your information of phones or whatever. So my point is that if you want to study and want to learn something in life, then I highly recommend you to join the course. It's literally $5. Like how much is $5? Right? For the first 5 people it's $5, and the price will increase if you do not buy right now. Right? For Indian buyers there's a separate link for UPI payment, while for international buyers there's a link for $5 payment. Right? And for Indian buyers the price is no more no less. It's literally $5 equivalent of USD. So, I highly recommend you to join the program. You can watch my previous videos, like and subscribe as you know it. I'll see you in the next video. Till then, work like a dog, live like a lion.